In the fast-moving world of news, it's easy to miss the meaning between the lines. That's where we come in. Each episode, we take real headlines from Newsline Philippines and let AI break them down. Not just the what, but the why it matters.
Okay, take a second and try to picture this. 9.4 billion, just an immense amount of value. Completely wiped out, gone. That's what just happened in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And, well, it really makes you think, doesn't it? What does it actually take to remove a threat that big?
Right. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. This massive destruction of illegal drugs worth that 9.4 billion figure you mentioned. It all went down on June 25th, 2025, led by President Marcos Jr. himself. Happened at the Clean Leaf International Facility in Capas, Tarlac. So our mission here is really to unpack this event, look at the scale, the details, and what it all signifies in the bigger picture of fighting drugs.
Yeah, and something that really jumps out from the reports is how personal involved President Marcos was, like really hands-on. He apparently said he wanted to witness the whole thing, from capture to destruction. His reason, to make absolutely sure these confiscated drugs are completely destroyed and can never return to the streets. That level of personal oversight, what does that signal, do you think? Is it just about transparency or something more?
Well, it's definitely about transparency, building public trust, showing people, look, this stuff is gone, no question. And when you connect that commitment to the sheer volume of what they destroyed, it's almost hard to comprehend. Just the Shabu alone, that's methamphetamine, we're talking 504 kilograms, valued at 8.8 billion. Just let that number sink in.
8.8 billion from Shabu alone. Wow.
Right. And what's really fascinating, maybe even a bit strange, is where a lot of this Shabu came from. It wasn't seized in typical raids, on land. Much of it was actually found floating off the coasts.
Floating, like just bobbing in the water.
Yeah.
All places like Zambales, Pangasinan, Ilocos.
Exactly. Zambales, Pangasinan, Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur, even Cagayan were covered right from the sea.
That's quite something.
Yeah.
What does that suggest? I mean, sophisticated smugglers trying new routes.
Yeah.
Avoiding land checkpoints.
Precisely. Finding that much offshore points pretty strongly towards significant maritime trafficking, possibly international groups using the coastline. It really highlights a whole different challenge for enforcement, beyond just roads and airports. And it wasn't just Shabu. They also destroyed liquid Shabu, marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, even things like toluene, lidocaine, expired meds, all from various operations.
Okay, so an incredible mix and a staggering quantity, which brings up the practical question. How do you safely get rid of all that? The reports mention thermal decomposition. Can you break that down for us? What does that actually involve?
Sure. Thermal decomposition is essentially incineration, but very high-tech, very controlled. They heat the materials to an extremely high temperature, 700 degrees Celsius in this case.
It's 700 degrees.
Yeah, for 10 straight hours. Then there's a 12-hour cooling period. The intense heat doesn't just burn it, it completely breaks down the chemical structure, makes it totally inert, unusable, impossible to recycle.
So it guarantees complete destruction.
Exactly. It's irreversible.
Yeah.
And it's important to note this was all done following regulations. The Dangerous Drugs Board authorized this specific destruction, especially for the drugs where, maybe suspects hadn't been identified yet.
Ah, okay. So the DDB gives the green light even without a specific court case tied to every single bit.
Right. They're the main policy body. Their authorization ensures everything is above board, legal, and transparent, even for seized drugs without immediate suspects. Which kind of leads back to the president's message, doesn't it?
How so?
Well, alongside witnessing the destruction, President Marcos really doubled down on his call for intensified efforts. He stressed hitting both the big syndicates and the street-level dealing, and crucially, preventing what they call recycled contraband.
Recycled contraband, meaning drugs seized but somehow leaking back out.
That's the concern, yeah. That seized drugs might somehow, corruptly or otherwise, find their way back onto the market. So this very public, very thorough destruction process is meant to directly combat that fear. It's about stopping that potential leak.
It's a powerful image, certainly. The president there watching billions go up in smoke, basically.
Absolutely.
So wrapping this up, the key takeaway seems to be this massive, very visible act of destruction. A clear statement right from the top, aiming for total elimination and transparency.
Definitely. It's a significant event. But it also leaves you with a thought, doesn't it? When you see this one operation destroying billions worth, what does that tell you about the sheer scale of the global drug trade that keeps flowing? And maybe what else needs to happen? Beyond just seizing and destroying, what tackles the problem, at its roots. Something for you, the listener, to think about.